Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you're listening in the podcast, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening in the podcast, whoever is joining me here. Today I'm going to speak about something that happened, I believe about 2 weeks ago. I recently saw an interview of this husband, right, who lost his wife the day of their wedding, right after their ceremony, guys. And the interview that he gave to a major news channel, it was so shocking to see, because you can totally see that this man would, is still in a lot of shock and a lot of pain. He was definitely crying, but after the interview, the reporter said, he agreed to do the interview. I think it was made to create awareness of what happened. So we have a couple things here. I just cannot believe how life, what I always tell you guys, life is so unpredictable. Anything can happen, right? One day we're here, the next day we don't know. So don't ever put away getting right with God, put it to the back burner, I guess you can say. A lot of people say, well, I'm young, or, I'm gonna worry about God when I'm in my 60s or whatever. We really don't know. Just as we don't know when we're gonna be born, we don't know when it's gonna be our last day here on this planet Earth, right? So we need to get right with God, have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Life is so unpredictable. Anything can happen, right? I always tell people when they tell me, oh, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do the other, and I say, it's in my calendar. you know, it's in my calendar. That's the plan. But not that I'm just trying to be like, not trying to be negative, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, we really just make plans. But anything can happen. So life is unpredictable. So this story is heartbreaking, and at the end of this episode, I'm gonna leave the link for their GoFundMe fundraising that they're doing. It is terrifying to see how a group of people can go from celebrating, you know, a beautiful day, a marriage, right? A wedding where you when you have a wedding, you have your friends, family. They are celebrating you. They know your stories. People give testimony about your life, and then they see you go right to your honeymoon, and you have not even reached your car, your destination, I guess you can say, and then you are impacted by a drunk driver, right? And you're instantly killed, like it happened to this bride who just got married, right? And her name is, excuse me, Samantha, right? Samantha Miller lost her life, 34 years old, lost her life the day of her wedding, right after the reception, by a drunk driver. And the crazy thing about this is also the way how it happened. It's not like they were in a regular car, they were actually in a golf cart. So when you see people drive, it's summertime now, right? What kind of, you see people driving in golf cars, and they have to have precautions with that even more than a regular car, because it's a special type of vehicle, right? You have to, you have to know how to use it, right? I've never been in one. You have to know what the speed limit is, you have to know things like that. And perhaps in the area where you're gonna use it, right, like a golf court or a special club, vacation club, whatever, right? I'm sure they don't just lend it out to anybody, right? So they're they were leaving their reception, guys, and excuse me, and they were impacted by a drunk driver driving another golf cart, who plowed into their car, killing instantly Samantha Miller, who just got married, 34 years old, okay? And also, the groom, Eric Hutchinson, and two others were, the driver hit them, causing the car to roll over several times. This is what this article said. I just can't believe, like, this is this is how quick your life can change, guys. And it's just like people, I'm sure the the family and everybody who were at the wedding would have been like, what just happened? Like, we were just celebrating them, right? We were just seeing them, like we were just saying, kissing her goodbye perhaps. And now she's completely like out of this earth, completely gone. And he's, him and his, I believe his best man was also hurt in the accident. It says here, let me just read to you guys a little bit more of the article. um After hours after saying I do, the 34-year-old bride died when she was hit by an alleged drunk driver in Folly Beach, South Carolina, as she left her wedding reception on Friday night. Miller was riding in a golf cart style vehicle with her husband, Eric Hutchinson, and two others when the driver hit them, causing the car to roll over several times. Okay, three other passengers were injured, two seriously, including Miller's husband. According to the police, um, the golf cart style vehicle decorated with cans and Just Mary sign, like, can you? That's so tragic. Their golf cart was decorated with cans and Just Mary sign, was quite mangled, and it was on its side when the first responded arrived. They attempted to revive Samantha Miller, but she died on the scene. Oh, I cannot even imagine. This is why it was so hard to see the interview that he did recently, because you can see the pain in this man, and this man, what he's going through. Like, can you imagine? You have your whole life ahead of you, you're planning, with your bride, and you're doing gift registry, you're planning the house. I don't know if they had a house yet or anything like that. And like that, it's like it's all taken from you. You can totally, sympathize with him, right? You can totally understand his pain. So if you're listening to this or watching this, pray for this family. Okay, we have to pray for a couple people in this incident, right? But let me just continue reading to you guys this here. The crash tossed the car more than 100 yards. It says here, I was handed Eric wedding ring in a plastic bag at the hospital 5 hours after Sam was placed it on his finger, and they reached each other. They read each other's their vows, his mother said. And she also said, Eric has lost the love of his life. And I told you guys about the GoFundMe. I think a lot of the time, this is why I like GoFundMe a lot, because you get to somehow help people that you see them on the news. You're like, oh man, that's so far away, there's no way, how can you help, right? But GoFundMe, always, this whole social media thing, we connect with people, right? But GoFundMe, it takes it to another level where you can actually help, monetary wise. There's so much that's going to be needed in this case. And as I know also, like, there's so many other stories that you can read, and if you want to make sure it's legit, you always like to, for me, I'm always like on GoFundMe, right? So you like to always see if you can find some type of news article about relating to the story that you see listed on GoFundMe. And if you don't see it, you can also pray about it and see if this is where God is letting you to help out. But when I said before, there's a lot of people that we have to pray for. What happened here is not only that we have to pray for the family, right, of the bride and the groom, the couple that just got married, and the family of the bride who lost their daughter, right, in this horrific accident. You have to also pray for the people in the wedding, trauma, things that they saw, perhaps, probably rush into the car because they saw an accident, things like that, right? And also, please don't forget, we understand there's a person here who is responsible for this, right? And she's 25 years old. Her name is Jamie Lee Koromowski. And she is devastated, guys. Like, nobody walks out. Well, I like to think that, right? But we live in a broken world, right? We live in a broken world where evil exists. There are people who are evil, people who are looking to harm others. In this case, though, um, it's so unintentional, but it goes to show you that everything you do in life has a consequence, right? I am sure this is not the first time that the suspect, Jamie Lee Koromowski, like I said, she's 25 years old. I am sure that was not the first time this person, she drove drunk, right? But the thing is, when you keep repeating the same offense, sometimes, it's gonna sound so horrible, but sometimes something tragic has to happen for you to kind of like see that, man, you need to stop it. And if you don't, like, sometimes if you don't stop it, then something bigger is gonna happen, so that you obviously cannot control it anymore. So something big will happen that is gonna take somebody else take action upon you, so you can stop hurting other people and hurting yourself, right? So that's just my comment on that. She is so regretful. There are conversation recordings that came out of her speaking with her dad, through the from the jail, right? I don't know how that's even available to the public, but she kept saying, I can't believe this happened to me. And people are like killing her with comments saying, she's only thinking about herself, things like that. We know there's somebody who's guilty, somebody who's responsible for this. She was irresponsible by driving drunk, right? She was probably thinking, people who do that, like, let me tell you, when you are, I went through college days, all of that. When you are like trying to show off to your friends, right? And you're like, get wasted, they get drunk, they're like driving the golf car, and probably their friends laughing at them. Oh, she's crazy, look at her, this and the other. And then reality sets in, and look at where she is now, and look at what she did. Okay? Not only she's paying for the consequences, but she's also hurting another family, right? Now another family is going to be hurting because of how irresponsible she was. And I'm sure that's devastating. She's going to have the rest of her life to think about the choices that she did, right? That she chose. And he, like, the husband was asked during the interview, what do you have to say to her? And he said, I don't have anything to say to her. But that goes to show you that sometimes, people, when they don't want to, like, when you become an adult and you have a pattern of doing something that is killing you, not only that killing you, but eventually, you, if something goes bad, you can also um hurt another person that is not just you. And people can be like, well, I can do anything with it's my life, leave me alone, I can do whatever I want, it's my life. And you think you're on top of the world because you're an adult, now you can make your own choices, but you make a decision that's going to impact the life of somebody else. And like I said, she's gonna think about this for the rest of her life. And she was saying, I'm gonna be in here for years and years and years. Why did this have to happen to me? And like I said before, sometimes things happen to you because of the choices you have made. Okay? And I gotta say too, She also said it wasn't intentional. I think we know, like I said, as much as evil there is out there, I understand that this 25-year-old um drunk, she probably didn't think, oh, I'm gonna get in a golf car, I'm gonna be safe, it's just gonna be easy breezy, it's not a regular car. But you should never be whatever car you might think it is. If you're drunk, don't get behind the wheels, right? Look what she has done. And like I said, she's gonna think about it for the rest of her life. Probably this young lady, 25 years old, I don't even know if she was married, probably she also thought about having her own wedding and having her friends, and just dreaming about that. And now she took that away from this family, right? So as much as people want to, kill her with comments, you have to understand that what she did is already done. Like, the damage is done already, right? The damage is done. So how do you heal from that? For the family who lost Samantha, right? It's gonna take a long time to heal from that, right? I really pray that they get to the feet of Jesus and find the peace and comfort they need in these moments at the hand of Jesus, which is the only place where they're going to be able to find that, right? And for Jamie Lee Koromowski, she also needs God, right? Sometimes in life you think you're like on top of the world and this like that. It could take something so real for you to kind of wake up and say, oh my goodness, man, what type of life was I living? She was not killed in this accident, right? She could have been, right? She hurt three people and killed one person. So she probably could have been killed also. So, you know, this is her moment to get right with God, okay? This is her moment for her to understand the seriousness of what she has done and ask for forgiveness, right? And I hope that the family of Samantha, when it's their time to get to that moment where they can, forgive, after they have that relationship with Jesus Christ, they get to that moment where they can forgive. Like I said, it's gonna take their time, right? And so understandably so, okay? But that goes to show you guys that life is so unpredictable. A lot of the times, right, we wait for that moment. We wait, I can't wait for, summertime to enjoy my life, right? Or people say, I cannot wait for once September comes, man, I'm gonna have the best time of my life. You don't even know if you're gonna be here in September. You don't even know what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? So the only thing that we have right now is the present, right? And like I always say, if you have an opportunity to do something in the moment, go ahead and do it, because that's the opportunity, that's the window that's open in the moment, right? And also think about the choices that you make. Like the other day, like on Sunday, 2 days ago, I'm driving, right? I went to see my mom, and I'm like, I don't understand what it is now. Like, so, like, Monday through Friday, like, I can understand how people can be rushing now on the streets. Like, I get it, people are in a hurry. They gotta go to work, pick up the kids from school, whatever, right? Then on Sunday, it's like, why are you tailgating me on a Sunday? Why are you rushing me off the road almost? When people get behind you, that you almost feel like, man, if I don't keep up with my speed, this guy's gonna run me over. And that's how the world is right now. I don't understand how people don't even have don't have like the human kindness to slow down. It's almost like people get behind the wheel and they're like, I'm in charge of everything here, right? And they have to drive so aggressively, right? And so, like, get out of the road. Like, people have no patience whatsoever. And speaking about, what happened here at this wedding, it's like, it makes you wonder, like, what went through her mind? Like, who was around her that didn't say, hey, don't get on the golf cart, you're fully drunk, or I'm not giving you the keys. Like, I'm not, where were her friends? But this Jamie, like, I don't know what was she doing, right? Was she just drunk and like got in a golf cart, or where were her friends, right? Isn't that what friends do? They protect you from drunk driving and say, you're too drunk to drive. And she probably said, I don't care, it's a golf cart. And well, even if so, you know, something can happen. And look what happened. Okay, now she's gonna have all this time to reflect on that. And they take it so lightly, and like sometimes, sometimes we hear the voices of our parents say, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And then people, the free of choice, right? um the freedom of choice, that's what I meant to say. And then now you get to reflect on that. And as sad as that is, you also have to understand, I'm sure that was not her intention, but a lot of the times there's so many things that happen to us. Sometimes we're like, that's not my intention, but we know that if you keep doing that, it's gonna give you a negative result, so stop doing it, right? Why don't you just stop all completely? Don't do it. And like I said, like, I don't understand lately what it is with people driving these days. You can be driving a little, even be a little over the limit, people still want to move you off the road, and they are reckless. They don't care if you're turning. They cannot slow down for you to turn, right? You could have like people crossing the street as you turn, and they want to almost push you over the road. And what is going on with people lately, especially when it comes to driving? Like, everybody is like in a competition for a race. And sometimes, like I said, I used to commute to work, right, to my day job, Monday to Friday. And I remember, like, man, people are just like rushing. But then it's kind of hard to see that also on a Sunday, on summertime, like on warm weather, when people are like taking it more easy, I guess you can say. Some people are not, school is almost out. People are gonna be more, I guess, with a lot less stress on them. Forget it. It's not like that. It's like it's a Monday. It's a 7-day type of ordeal. People are just driving recklessly lately, and I have been noticing that for a while now. They have no patience. They see somebody turning with the light to turn, they still are not slowing down for you to turn completely, like disregarding that an accident can happen, because as you're turning, somebody might be backing out. Some person could be crossing the street. They don't care. It's like, I'm not gonna slow down. You better turn as fast as you can, right? And risk it like that. And how do you live with your life if your recklessness, right, can cause somebody else to do something worse, or perhaps have an accident that can cost the life of somebody else? And look what's happening in this case with Jamie Lee. There she is, right? Her recklessness, her irresponsibility cause so much pain to a family right now. And I pray that she finds, you know, she comes to Jesus and asks for forgiveness, right? And after she's asked God for forgiveness, she's able to perhaps give some type of letter to the family of Samantha, or, or give a statement of, of asking them to forgive her also what she has done. Because, guys, it's so not worth it trying to be like, the cool tough person, trying to get the instant gratification of your friends. She's such a bad girl. Look at her, fully thrown, trying to get in a golf car. She's so crazy. And the friends, when people applaud your foolishness, you have the worst group of friends ever, because that's my question too. Like, who was she with in that moment that nobody said to her, hey, give me the keys, you're not getting in the golf cart? Like, who allowed her to get the golf cart? What was she doing, right? I don't have all the stories, so I just, it's so crazy that she was allowed to do that, and look the damage and the pain that she has caused. So pray for the two families, guys. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and listening to this podcast. And like I said, I'm gonna find the GoFundMe link, so if you're willing to help out the family of Samantha and Eric, you can go ahead and donate on the GoFundMe page, but we can also help by praying for them. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming here to the YouTube channel and listening in the podcast. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. I'm here to invite you to my podcast, JulissaDesigns, and it can be found on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. You can join me every day as I make episodes of the latest news, real life stories, and I also share my favorite Bible verse. Hope to see you then. God bless. Everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you want to know more about me, you can always visit www.JulissaDesigns.com. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. For coming back to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and share this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.